Going to do a little bit more Akkadian practice today, this time upgraded to a whiteboard. So I'm going to be, this is from Hunegard's Akkadian textbook, 3rd edition. So I'm doing lesson 13, exercise 2. I'm just going to quickly copy that onto here. So I'll be right back. Right, I have copied that down over here. I'm going to change the marker that I'm using because that's got some fumes to it. All right. So in this case, it hasn't been normalized, which is where, so this essentially has written down each sign that was on the original tablet. Let's say I think it's been adapted slightly for the purposes of being an exercise. But in the normalization, it would be actually turning these into sort of the proper words. So, for example, eklam, eklaam would turn to eklam. Ki here, so when they're the capitals, it's sort of the sumerograms that are being used, where they've got sort of either multiple meanings or they just represent one whole thing. So, for example, the sign dumu, which is like this in Neo-Assyrian, that means sun. So instead of, which is in the Neo-Assyrian, it's marum. So instead of writing the sign for ma and then like ad, ru, and then so instead of writing out all those signs, they use this one sign, which is a sumerogram, meaning sun. So the capitals that you see all around, that's what those are. And this one as well, this one has like two meanings. Sometimes it's used before like a place name. Other times it can mean iti, which is with. And just before I normalize it, is there anything else I want to say? Oh yeah, so a few of these are actually personal names. And what Hunegard does is he sort of lists down the personal names down at the bottom of these. So I think Alikum, which is that. So that is a personal name. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through, sort of normalize it, and then above the personal names, I'm just going to write P and then N. So I'll see you back in a second again. So in this orange, I've written the sort of normalized Akkadian. This word I'm a little unsure of, and I've probably misspelt some things and I don't have all the accents on, but I can sort of start, I don't know, piecing things together. So something I'm doing now is sort of looking for where the verbs are. So I'm just going to put like a little dot around the verbs where I think they are. And I can tell sort of what the verbs are because of like the shape or like the look of them. All right, so now that I sort of have looked at where the verbs are, I can sort of start working backwards, because the verbs, unlike in English where they sort of shift around a little bit, but usually they come around the middle, the verbs in at least in this version of Akkadian come at the end of sentences. I don't know about other forms because I think this is Old Babylonian grammar from what I remember. Anyway, I'm rambling. Okay, no one cares. So this is a verb. This is the word for land. And what I might do is I might actually start writing down. I should get a different color. Okay, give me a second because I'm going to start writing what some of the words actually mean above them, but I'll do it in another color so it's distinct. A few more colors. Let's see. Can you see this well enough? Oh yeah, that's fine. So eklam, I'm pretty sure it's field. And because it's got that am and not you know it's in the accusative. So field, in this case, with, but it may mean from. Like if we're putting it into nicer English, let's say, the field from so-and-so, and you may notice that before I was writing marum, so sun in the free form, when it's done sort of like in this form of possession where it's like, okay, son of so-and-so, without having like another little thing in between it, it uses the bound form of the noun, which is why you've just got mad instead of marum, but that still means son and of so-and-so. So the field from, or that was with so-and-so, son of so-and-so. And then we've got so-and-so. Now here we've got the word for sun, dumu, or well, the sign for sun, the sumerogram, dumu. Then we've also got munus, so munus. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. So dumu munus, if we're gonna, just to show what that would look like, would be, again, that sign for sun. Just realised how poorly this poor whiteboard is looking. Anyway, so sun, that's looking very unclear, but you get the idea. And then it is the feminine sort of marker that's used sort of with names. So dumu munus, so it sort of means son, female in a way. So that means daughter, which in the bound form is madat, and in the free form, mad tum. The reason that A sort of drops out is because of the vowel syncope thing. Again, this is like my revision in a way. So when Akkadian doesn't like to have two short consonants next to each other, and there's a way to sort of, two short syllables, not short consonants, what am I saying? Short syllables. So in madat, it's ma and rat, so that's like a longer one, that's a short. Whereas if you kept it as madatum and divvied it up, it'd be maratum, and you'd have two short syllables next to each other, which the language doesn't like, so that's why it drops out for that. But that is getting off track. So let me just quickly erase this, and then we can go back to up here. So where was I at Madat? So daughter of so-and-so. So it's really putting to test my handwriting. Daughter of so-and-so. And so-and-so, her. So here, this is a possessive suffix, I believe, meaning her, and that is mother, so her mother. So double check the names. Yep, so good old Hunegard is very handy in that he tells us that Rabatum is a feminine name. So, yep, so, and Rabatum, her mother. Ishama, I think it's bought, maybe. So it might be Shama, so they bought. It's they feminine. Need to double check that, but I think it's they bought. So in essence, what I'm thinking it says so far, this little first part of the contract is Taku Matum, daughter of Amurum and Rabatum, her mother. They bought the field from so-and-so, Alikum, son of Adwum. So that's that first little part. And I sort of know that's sort of the end of that little clause, because there we've got our handy little verb. So moving on to the next section. Our next verb, I think, is here. And I believe it's the word rent, or like the verb to rent, I think. But I'm not 100% sure, and that would be they rented, so they masculine. Or maybe borrowed would be the better term. Anyway. So so let's go back to here. So this is so-and-so, son of, sorry, I don't have a little like stand for my phone, so I'm holding it. So I'm just making sure that I'm actually catching everything in video. All right. Alikum mar arwum, so son of so-and-so. Then we've got another personal name. So maybe we've got a little and. No, maybe they're doing something. So so-and-so and his sons, so plural of sons, maru, in the bound form because there's a suffix pronoun attached, being sure, and I think there's a long U, I can't remember. So, and his sons. So, so-and-so and his sons, all of them. So this is kalu. I think that's a long U, I'm not sure. So kalu, yes, it would be long U because I think it matches the, it declines in the same way that as the noun it modifies. So his sons, all of them, so shunu meaning them, possessive. So in a way, this little part here refers back to this, same with this. So his sons, all of them, this is 2 or 4, so-and-so, and then I think it's they borrowed. So I'm just trying to figure out how that little part here fits in. Okay. So it's from here. It's getting a little busy. I need to just like see where I'm reading from. So it's from here through to here. And this little part here, this ma, means and or and then. So, so-and-so, son of so-and-so, maybe and in there, and yeah. So, so-and-so, son of so-and-so, and so-and-so, and all his, and his sons, all of them are borrowed or rented. Need to check the definitions of that word. 2 or 4 so-and-so. And then I think this is the word for judges. So they had this fun thing where with the double Y, not double Y, but it's like for that sound, they'd end up just keep writing A. So I'm wondering if that's just another way of doing that. So maybe, so the judges in, and so here again, we've got another bound form. So this sumerogram, I believe, looks like this. And it means sort of house. So bitum. So in a bit of, and then this is the god's name, Shamash. So in the house of Shamash, or the temple of Shamash. So the judges in the temple of Shamash, something this word again. So I need to double check what that means. So they're so-and-so. And this verb, I can't remember if it means to should or to remove. I think it means to remove. So they removed their debt, maybe? Okay, so it's a lawsuit over a piece of property. So then judgment, I think this is the word for judgment, or like verdict, and then that's the same thing, house of so-and-so, the house of Shamash. So, knowing that it's a lawsuit over property, it's just these two/3 or really two words that I'm sort of stuck on, and that's isuhu. So I think it's removed. Maybe it's like complaint or something. I think it is borrowed, like to not to borrow, to hire. So they hired so-and-so, son of so-and-so. So so-and-so and his sons, all of them, hired so-and-so, son of so-and-so, to or for so-and-so. I've really got to stop saying so-and-so. It makes it more confusing for me too. So it's like the judges in the house of Shamash removed or tore out their borrowing, or they're hiring, they're renting. So the general gist I'm getting from this is that there was this field that was purchased. So this field that was purchased by Takumatum, the daughter of Amurum and Rabatum, from Alikum, the son of Arwum, and then Alikum, the son of Arwum, I'm definitely butchering these names, and Sumuramu and all of his sons, something to or for. So I'm assuming this is some sort of grievance where they sort of disagreed with so-and-so having bought the field, because it is meant to be a lawsuit over a piece of property. And then that would make sense then for the judges to throw out the matter or like their complaint or their issue from the house of Shamash, so the Temple of Shamash. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to look at Hunagard's answer key and see how he sort of puzzles this all together. I was going to write it all out, but I thought rather than do that, I'll just so I was on the right track where it is, let me just sort of bracket. So it's so-and-so and her mother bought the field from this guy, son of that guy. And then that guy they bought the field off sort of brought their complaint with one of his mates and all their sons to the temple of Shamash. So again, this was sort of like complaint. So it wasn't rent, but it was their complaint or matter, which I sort of thought was the case. That fit a little bit better. And then the judges threw the case out from the temple, so to speak. So, sort of on the right track, but yeah, definitely need to keep working on this.